All right, Shalom, boys here. Well, out on this rainy day, my work day was shot because everything I needed to do is outside. Um, got a roof to finish up and some more trees to cut down. Then I got some more inside work after that. So things have been busy, and I thank the Father for it. But what I wanted to talk about, it goes back to what I've been saying. In the last 9 years since I've been homesteading. Came out of New York, purchased a piece of property, debt free, and have been developing and living on it and prospering on it ever since. But what I wanted to talk about was the economics of homesteading, which is not much a lot of actual hardcore numbers, understanding behind it, while there's not a lot of people that are teaching on this stuff, and I understand the reason why, because very few people of us are doing it. But people, simply put, they do not count the cost. Ever since, again, 9 years, I've seen about half of the lands and what the community or homesteads go away, and the people moving back to the cities, or moving back into the suburbs. And the main reason why this is taking place is money. Again, I have seen families go get land, start on that land. They're all excited and they're doing videos and everything, and then boop, done. And even some notable ones as well. I think that brother Judah Mack in the trap, he does videos on relationships and stuff. Pretty good content. But I've seen them try community on several different occasions, and boom, done. Nothing comes of it. And again, I think that the main issue that we're having is money. Because, see, listen, I had a well-to-do job in corporate America. I sold the business cards, I got the actual resume. A lot of people, they claim that they've done something in life and they've done all these things in life and got no kind of proof whatsoever that they've done it. And it's all to deceive you, and many of you deceive, but those who are doers, those who are of the folk that really get shit done, we understand a hypocrite and a stage player when we see one, because they haven't done it like we have. But it took about 3 years, myself alone, to save up the funds, to cut back on my spending, to make the sacrifice myself. Even though I was fellowshipping with 5 or 6 or 7 other brothers at that point in time. And it's amazing how, when I really think about, none of these people are boots on the ground. Not a one of them. Boots on the ground. But it took 3.5 years, or 3 years roughly, to save up and purchase and look for this piece of land. And boy, because there was no one else. Everybody broke back then. Medical problems, all this kind of stuff. Could you imagine what's going on today? And we're gonna walk this forward. But it took 3 years worth of discipline. Just 3 years. Just me alone. 3 years to purchase this property. 6-acre homestead. Well, septic, garden area, and an old used double wide that I've been fixing up and getting. I got to start working on the outside after I finish up the inside. But it's been a blessed day because everything is paid for. And let me tell you, man, it's been a blessing to be able to go through the process. But unfortunately, again, and I talked about this in my previous video, a lot of people are not going to go through that process because they did not count the cost. The word talks about, before you set out to do anything, to count the cost. And what a lot of people have done, and again, I've seen them. I've seen them come and go. I've talked to many of them in the past because they saw what I was doing, and naturally, you're going to ask questions about someone that you see doing what you're attempting to do. I did that. That made sense to me. But an interesting thing, again, a lot of people, it doesn't make sense. This is why they fail, because they think that they can just do it without getting any kind of counsel or wisdom from people who have done it in the past, and then glean more from them. And I always say, take the meat, throw away the bones, and apply what you need to apply. That's the sound thing to do. But we need, and again, the reason why these communities and these homesteads are failing is because of economics. They lack the economic resources in order to get it done. Much less not being real workers. I mean, there's people that are just not workers. They're not ambitious, driven people. There's a whole lot of factors that go into this thing. But this is why I say over and over and over again, start a business. Start a business. Because if you can start a business, right, and your land is paid for, could you imagine making $10,000 in a month and your bills are $600-700 a month? Could you imagine that? Could you imagine the economics and the level of prosperity and the level of savings and the level of projects that you can get done if you had a business like that? Now, could you imagine each one of these homesteads, or they have a business like that, and they can generate income for themselves, and they ain't got to worry about it? Because the fact of the matter is that you live out in the country. When it comes to the jobs, and this is the truth. Now, there's work from home jobs, there's different hustles or whatever, but I'm talking about the standard cat coming out the city. They all have one thing in common. They're working some type of local trucking job. They are working some type of manufacturing, a warehouse job. They're working at some type of meat plant. They're working one of these jobs. Or the sisters are cleaning ladies, or the CNAs, or online customer service rep, and that's going away. That's going away big time. But all of these jobs have one thing in common. They don't pay no more than, depending on what the job is, between $16 and $22 an hour. That's good pay out in the country, $20 an hour. But after taxes, I mean, I was making more than like 4 brothers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can probably venture to say I make more with my business in entire communities and other homesteads. I mean, that's just massive right there. But the idea is that if you have these businesses in place, then you don't have to worry about the feast day issue. You don't have to worry about the economic issue. Because how long do you think it's going to take for a group of brothers to get together, right, and save to buy some land? Then I've clocked as much as 10 years. 10 years. It's crazy. 7, 8, 9 years for folk to get together. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because everybody's working one of these slave wage jobs. And that's how the vast majority of these communities or homesteads are failing, because, and I'm talking about the entirety of the Hebrew Israelite movement and then the homesteader movement. I see people from all over, and I said again, I said it before, I say it again. Half these folks are gone, whether Hebraic or regular uh, uh, black communities or homesteads, gone, gone. And why? As I've just looked at it, you know what I'm saying, deductive reason, what's going on here? The lack of skill sets, the lack of resources. That's what's going on. Now, a lot of people, unfortunately, and hey, everybody's entitled to live how they live. I know this brother that um, he's a nomad. You see him. I'm friends with him on Facebook. I forgot how to pronounce his name, but he's a good brother. I mean, different. You know what I'm saying? But he's a good brother, and he's out there living the life that he feels the Most High has put on his heart. In terms of, I think he always quotes the statement that Jesus didn't have a house, or Jesus didn't live nowhere, so therefore this is how he's gonna live. And he lives like that. He literally camps out and goes a place, and he knows the law, and he does these videos. So hey, to each his own. You know what I'm saying? In terms of how you're gonna live. However, just being honest, I mean, I may have started shitting in the bucket, but that's not how I want to, live indefinitely. Now, again, everybody has a right to live the way that they want to live, or not have adequate housing or clothing, or living spaces where my son and my sons can have a room, and my daughters can have a room, and if I needed to expand, I can add on a room, or I can deck out another cabin or something like that, or build another I can do these things, right? I want a shower. I mean, I did my own nice, beautiful shower with tile, and I did it all. I know how to do it. I completely remodeled my bathroom. I remodeled my a nice place to go and take a shower and take a dump after a damn hard day's work. Are you getting it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can burn all that toilet paper and wood stoves. I can, in terms of wood, I did a video earlier about this. People are not economically educated on these things, and they're going into it from a religious perspective where, the floodgates are just going to open and everything is going to be there and everything is going to be wonderful. But then that's not reality. The reality is that you need things, and these things, of course, take resources. And how are you going to get those resources? You're going to do it with the labor of your hands. Because, hey, you could do it via these jobs. But as inflation go up and the cost of living go up and the price of these things go up, them jobs they're not paying more. So therefore, you're working 40, 50 hours a week, then you got to come and get on a piece of property and work some more. That shit is strenuous. I'm tired. After, a hard day's work, I want to come in, spend time with the children and the wife, get me something to eat and head to bed so I can prep for the next day. This is why I got to be efficient as well. I mean, I'm just seeing the whole lack of inefficiency, the lack of resources, the lack of these homesteads, the resource allocations, the overall hustling grind. I mean, I've just watched this over the past decade now, and I'm telling you, it's just a point in time where you can see the precursors to a successful homestead or community, as well as a one that's going to fail. I mean, it's just there. I mean, I've seen it personally. I've talked to the people. I'm doing it myself. I'm a man that you can take my word at it because I show it in my life. I know what I'm talking about. And it's sad. It really is sad because then you got these people, they're moving back to the suburbs. They're back to the ground, and then they're grinding, and then their family and their friends is looking at them and saying, you failed and this and the third or whatever, it's a sad deal. You know what I'm saying? To see, and I was just watching this other brother, you know what I'm saying? And I hadn't seen no videos. He was, pillaging his family out in the sticks. And before you know it, you know what I'm saying, no more videos, and he's back in the suburbs, just like that. I mean, y'all gotta plan better. You know, just don't get into something you don't know what you're doing. You don't have the wisdom, or you're not in connection with people that can give you the wisdom on how to go about doing this thing successfully. But one of the core issues, if not the primary thing, is if a man don't work, he don't eat, though, right? So the idea is that if you're gonna work, why don't you work for yourself as opposed to working for one of these companies that all they gonna do is work you like a dog. They gonna work you and they gonna work you until your back give out. And they don't care what color skin you are today. So it's gonna take an extraordinary amount of time to save up, uh, and then you got to think about the situation in terms of whether it's a homestead or community where people got to pack up. Are you willing to deal with that? Folks that homesteaders, you may need to get a little camper trailer. How are you ready to deal with that? How long are you prepared to uh, uh, shower in the toilet, in a bucket, shit in the bucket? Septic costs money, wells cost money. You know what I mean? These people that get out there and they buy land and they ain't no damn well on it. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But these are the kind of resources that you need on that land, or to get on that land ASAP. Um, you need facilities for people to bathe, to shower, to keep sanitized. Um, that's a central thing, when it comes to one of the first things you should do is make sure that you have some functioning running water or some type of access to be able to take a clean shower. I mean, but then you see people, they're living in deplorable situations, and they haven't developed any kind of business. They're still working, but they're growing their family. But and everybody's living in below the poverty line, in abject poverty. No access to no medical care, no health care. Teeth are not getting done. Folks busting out with rashes and getting sick, and nobody's. Hey, this is what's going on. But nobody's gonna get on social media and get on YouTube and do a video talking about these things. Inadequate sanitation, inadequate living quarters. I mean, they're living like the old slaves did, back in the when slavery was going on. Everybody in a beat up, dilapidated shed. It's, hey, if again, I preface this again, if that's how you want to live, then I got nothing against it. But I'm saying that, just from my perspective in my house, is that we want it is, and I don't believe that it's a running water is a modern day convenience. I mean, is it a modern day convenience? I don't know. I just know that I want to have it. I want to be able to take a nice hot shower. I want to be able to brush my teeth and keep people's mouths open. You be like, oh my God, oh my yeah. I mean, just no type of physical care whatsoever. People are just nasty. I mean, it's just sad to see. It's a hardcore video. I know I'm talking some truth. I know I'm talking a lot of truth, but a lot of people won't admit it. We gotta be business minded. We understand, and I say it over and over again. I'm gonna continue to say it over and over again. We understand the importance of being set apart. We understand the importance of animal husbandry, which a lot of people don't do, and a lot of people don't do. A lot of people understand the need to raise a garden. A lot of people don't do. A lot of be debt free. A lot of people don't do. You getting this? You getting it? A lot of people don't do. we understand the importance of all of these things that we should be doing, and that is healthy for us and our families. But the only thing that's not pressed and led in the examples are out there enough. There are examples, but not enough examples. Is of brothers getting together, open up and doing business together and freeing their because see, you deal with a whole lot, you solve a whole lot of challenges when from an economic perspective, and whether a homestead and community, if you have this level of coordination going on. I'm looking to build Covenant Pharmacy, Covenant Plumbing Services, Covenant Automotive Services, and have brothers come in and run those businesses. That's my vision, because Covenant Contracting is established now. It's an established business. My name is out there. I get the consistent clients. You see what I'm saying? I mean, so the opportunities are there, but we gotta. This is where we're going. Slave job, huh?